Now, all right, hello, people. Thank you for waiting around while we try to figure this whole blab thing out. So tonight it is May 30th, 10:39 Eastern Time over here for me. We're talking PD. My name is Justin Schleider, physical education, health, technology teacher, approaching the end of the year, ready to get rolling in the summer. Next up, over here.
Hi, my name is Mr. Adam
my
Woodall,
right,
as Justin would put it. And I am athletic director and K through 12 PE teacher here in the Middle East. But I'm up for obviously the British side of our blab, and I'm waiting for my British brother to come in. But I don't know if he's going to have any luck this evening.
And that is the beauty and the toughness of technology. It never works the same way twice. So anyway, let's get rolling right into it. We are here talking PD, summer PD. So for myself,
June,
I have another
17th,
2.5 weeks of school left. Adam, how many weeks do you have left? You and I both. So once the summer comes rolling, a lot of people may have time off. I don't. I go right into my summer camp. So that weekend, I'll be rocking and rolling right there. So what are you doing for this summer? I know you have a crazy schedule booked, and we are talking.
You know, when we were talking about technology.
So what are you doing this summer
I am having technology
for your PD?
Hang on. I've got Justin Timberlake's song going in the background of my.
Wow, what's going on?
You can hear it, but I don't know where it's coming from. Give me 1 second.
I can hear it. Nice. So Melanie Lynch says she's going to the Spark Technology Institute next month in San Diego. So that's probably being run by Naomi and I'm sure a bunch of other people out there. So if Naomi's there and Kim, you want to talk about it some more, Kim? You want to call in? We got an empty seat. You could call right in and tell us all about this Spark Technology, what you got going on there. Melanie already trying to get a dinner out of Kim. Good job over there, Melanie. I would try to do that every time I see her as well.
Sorry. I'm back.
She has to find a hat. All right. So, Adam, I'll tell you quick about my PD this summer. I am doing absolutely nothing, going nowhere to any conferences, which kind of stinks, but when you get paid by the hour, that's how I roll. There are many I want to go to. The number one that I probably will miss this year is the PE Institute 2016. That was a fantastic time last year.
Amazing time if you're hanging out with me.
We got to hang out. This year they have, and listen, I can't disagree with you there. So many great people are going to be at the PE Institute 2016. Definitely have FOMO, the fear of missing out from that bit.
Yeah, I've got a couple of things on the horizon.
What about yourself? What do you have coming
just said that
you have a couple things on the
you need to obviously do something that you don't have the time to, because obviously you get paid by the hour, etc. for the summer. Have you thought about maybe looking at this online course that really I think more physical educators should be getting involved with? And it's based through the University of Birmingham. And I'm going to put this link in here. And basically it's an online course for PE teachers to give them some professional development. And it's called a MOOC. And the actual course title is Outstanding Physical Education's Lessons. And Dr. Vicky Goodyear at Birmingham is actually running the course. And it's a massive free. So free, Justin, and I know you like free. I thought they would. Online course.
My ears just perked up a little bit.
Because I definitely think there's going to be some aspects of it that are really gonna make you want to sign up for this free course. Basically, by the end of here's what it says on the site, and it's saying that by the end of the course, you will have understanding the characteristics of an outstanding physical education lesson. You'll know and be able to engage with the process of being an activator of learning, and you'll develop the capabilities to engage in self-directed CPD, continuous professional development, using a range of digital tools. So I'd say that's quite up your street.
Yeah, I absolutely love free. And just because I can't go anywhere does not mean I will not be doing paid. Absolutely. I have a couple presentations in the works coming up that is going to force me to do some PD, which, kind of thing. So tell me a little more about this MOOC, this massive online open course. They are blowing up the world. The fact that it's free, as Jared Robinson would say, undervalues them a little bit, I'm sure. So that is going to be a little bit of a problem because they'll get a lot of people signed up and not a lot of people following through with it because it didn't cost them anything. But what is the draw of the MOOCs and where did they come from? You know anything about them?
No, it was literally when I was chatting with Vicky, it was the first time I'd actually heard of a MOOC. And then, as you said, I seem to be seeing this MOOC platform more and more. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm hopefully going to be getting involved and helping Vicky out with a couple of little bits for the MOOC. And I think it's an exciting time where I really enjoyed the sort of Phys Ed Summit that will be coming up as well in the summer. So that's something else that we need to remember. So along with the MOOC and Phys Ed Summit, I think it's this free professional development where teachers can go and learn at their own pace is definitely a game changer for us, and using technology to learn new ideas and putting those ideas into practice once we go back after the
And
summer.
what I think is amazing about the MOOCs are, look at the quality of person. Like Vicky Goodyear is top notch in the phys ed world. So I know we have a lot of other educators out here. Christy Kate, who I'm trying to get to come on the air. Hopefully she will. It's not going to know her by name, but university professors offering professional development for free. And you can take basically free college courses. I mean, it's amazing the era we live in. If you are not getting better, it's your own fault. I mean, you can't say anything. You can't say time. Do it at night in your underwear. Like right now. You have no idea whether I'm wearing shorts or not. You know, that's what I love about this stuff. But you do it right on your computer. You're doing it right on your computer. You're doing it at your pace, like you said. You got a little bit of time. Boom. Go ahead, do it. 5 minutes here, an hour there, 2 hours there. All that stuff. Again, no excuses anymore. No excuses for why you're not getting better at your craft.
I'm also thinking of I'm actually starting to do a little bit on the Google Certified Trainer as well. So I'm going to look at completing that over the summer. So we'll see how that goes.
Christy Kate, who did not take me up on my offer to jump in, no idea what she's talking about. But she said, if I can read this correctly and go find it, she's facilitating a day with Richard Byrne. Are you familiar with Richard Byrne?
Yeah, Teachers for Teachers.
Free Tech for Teachers.
Free tech for teachers, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Richard is top notch when it comes to technology in the education world. I love his blog, love his website, his YouTube channel, second to none. If you want to get involved with EdTech, Richard Byrne would be the first place and maybe the last place that I stopped. I mean, say no more. The dude, anything that's new comes out through a site. And I actually got the pleasure of hanging out with him in Delaware. Really nice dude. He did a whole thing on annotations on YouTube, which was cool. I learned that I've actually used them as well. As a little side note, if you have a YouTube video that something is changed on it, or you want to go to make a new one on the same content. So let me give you an example. I made a video on how to auto tweet somebody else's tweets out there. Well, the auto tweet 2 was taken down. It's not there anymore. So now there's another if formula. So what I could do is take an annotation and just put a link right in the middle of the video. Hey, this is no longer here. Boom, go there, and then go from that. So I thought that was really cool how to use the annotations in YouTube. And he actually was showing how you can use it to make choices on videos for your students. You know, they could choose this, and then the annotation would pop up, or they could choose this. And look at that. As I said this, look who pops up. Mr. Andy Milne. Now we can't hear him, but we can see him. This is almost, if I could have wrote this down, this is what I want. I want to just see him. We don't even have to worry about hearing him. Very nice. So Christy Kate says, not even a hat would help. So she has a couple more things. Sections of Read, Write, Google. No idea what that is. Microsoft Innovator, really cool. And then she's doing some Makerspace, Breakout EDU, which is awesome. And Google One. So Christy Kate is a technology guru, one of my favorites. I hit her up whenever I can and say, hey, what you got for me? Or, hey, did you ever hear this? How do you use it? So she is pretty cool. All right, so we got the Moot going with Vicky Goodyear, who does a great vlog, by the way. Now, what else do you have coming on?
I'm going to be going down to a phys ed conference down in Oxfordshire in the UK. It's one of the biggest PE and coaches conferences, and I'm going to be down there. Check it out. It's at Adlington College or Adlington School. I don't know if you can get that up, Justin.
I can try to take a look for you out there.
I will post. Why am I asking you? I will post the.
I don't know.
And it's through Independent Coach Education. It's the fourth time this conference has been going. And it really does have some really good names that are going to be presenting there. So there's a lot of ex-athletes that are going to be sharing their knowledge. They're going to be looking at GCSE PE. They're going to be looking at teaching and coaching athletics, rugby, volleyball, and some for the administrative side to PE as well. So those people that are in the UK or based internationally, definitely a conference that's worth looking at.
Now, here's my question for you. We go to the conference. You present, so you're not learning much. I mean, you can learn from whoever's in the room. So let's say a couple people spout out a couple things. You go, oh, wow, this is great. I love this, something new. Then you go to a couple other sessions, and you go, wow, I learned this. This is cool. How or what do you do to keep that going? How does it not just disappear? This was cool. I learned it. Now I'm going to go on. What do you do to keep I believe like Andy Vasily said, going from the sparkler to the candle? How do we keep that passion, that fire lit for a long period of time instead of just, boom, here it is, I'm excited, then it just becomes another thing that never gets done?
I think it's Go on, Andy. Sorry, I didn't realize we had sound from you. I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked. I'm just so used to seeing your picture.
I was being really patient and really polite, being very British. It was interesting what you said, Justin. You said what, from a sparkler to a candle?
Correct.
You know what? That analogy doesn't work for me.
Sure.
I see myself more like embers. My embers are always glowing. And it's when I get like a breath of oxygen or whatever, that ignites me. So I'm always glowing. I'm always glowing, irrespective of what's going on. And I take notes when I go to conferences. So those notes are there, and I know that they're always there. And if I need to just fan the flames, I can open up my notebook, and that will get me going. My mind has like so many things just sitting here, slowly kind of cooking. I just have to sort of. I've lost the analogy, haven't I?
Are they digital notes or are they actual notes?
No, it's really funny. As much as I'd love to take digital notes, and I'd love to do the sketch notes as well. I even bought one of those fancy pens, and I love sketch notes. I can't do it. I just write. I have to write in a Moleskine journal, And I keep those Moleskine journals on my, up above where I sit at school. And so all my notes are there. I'm old school,
Nice.
kinesthetic.
So here's the question, though. So you got these embers that are always lying there. Go to the conference, they flame up, throw a couple logs on the Barbie, you're all good to go. And what happens when the logs burn out? That's my question.
No, if they don't, when they burn out, it's time for you to leave teaching. Why would they burn out?
Because
I don't go to a conference to ignite those flames. It's already there. It's there. I don't know.
I guess my question is this.
Someone call me an Uber. Just call me an Uber.
Justin's already thinking, right, let's get burgers on those on the barb and let's get some barbecuing going on those embers.
So my question is, you learn something new, all right? Mm-hmm. How do we say, okay, and then we're going to implement that and we keep it going, other than here's the conference, I met these people, cool, I'll see them next year, same time, same place, here's the information, cool, I might use it, I might not, all that stuff.
You have to prioritize then, I guess. You prioritize it in your head, what you've seen, what's impressed you, and where it fits into the needs of your kids or your curriculum. And most times you can't do that immediately. The first thing Shape Minneapolis, I took a ton of notes. There was a ton of really good stuff there, but a lot of it came too late for me. I'd already, I was too far down the line and finished up the school year. The first thing I implemented was a world game that I saw Sarah Gitcher Harmon teach. She did something called Bramble. You have to do it with the Bramble from Sweden or Scandinavia, and that was the first game I implemented, and that was like 3 weeks later. But the rest of the notes are there, and I know that this summer I can work on that and then start to interweave that into my planning.
All right, let's find out if we have audio from Mel. Do we have audio, Miss?
You mean from Melanie?
Yes, from Melanie.
Hey, Melanie.
Hi, Andy.
All right, so tell us about this lesson plan and locking it in. You go to a conference?
So let's say Andy teaches me something new, but I've already taught the unit. We're almost at the end of the year. And I want to, as we talked from the last blab, I want to make it my own. So I write the lesson plan as if I'm teaching it next week, put it into my, teacher folder, and then boom, next semester when I come back, it's in the lineup. And then I'm like, oh, that was Andy Milnes. And I'm ready to go. And versus if I don't write it up, then it's not in the queue. So I kind of lose it. And then maybe if I see him again, I'll say, oh, buddy, what's that lesson? But if I write it up and get everything ready, even if I can't teach it for a couple of months, it's ready to go. And then that just keeps me so excited knowing I'm going to teach that lesson. Yeah, a lot of love out there for
that idea. I think that's brilliant. Get it ready. Do all the hard work. As soon as you get back, it's fresh in your mind. Have the intro set up, the background, the provocations, how are we going to do this? And it's all ready to go. So when the time comes, you just go, look over. Oh, here we go. We got a lesson all ready to go. I like that idea. Adam, what are your views on this?
Yeah, I'm thinking about just maybe a little bit off topic, but I'm thinking there are a lot of people that go to conferences, and I feel that sometimes they go to the wrong sessions because they'll go to sessions where they can learn that sort of stuff off the internet. Like if they were to actually go and actually have a look for content and look for stuff that can actually be found on Google, and then they're wasting their time on maybe other sessions that can actually be more beneficial to their actual teaching and learning. So I don't know, sometimes at conferences I think that people maybe plan for, I don't know, a new warm-up game or something along those lines that could be found on the internet. And yes, we're talking before about how it's trying to maybe recharge people's batteries, etc. But I think sometimes we need to think what's going to be most beneficial to our long-term development as an educator.
So then why are we going to a conference? If it's not to find new information, what am I doing there?
What I'm saying is some information, so some sessions, not all sessions. So maybe some sessions could be done personally, and that information could be found by themselves rather than attending that certain workshop, and there might be more beneficial workshops that they could actually learn something new.
Yeah,
there.
like Justin, say you and I eventually our paths cross and we're at the same conference. Like, part of me would love to come and see you present, but if you're presenting on elementary school stuff, I really don't need to see you present. But I've never seen you present, so I really want to see you. So you have to kind of, toss the coin and work out where you're going to get the best bang for your buck.
Well, even at Eastern District, Justin, you gave me great feedback about that. That I let you sit for an hour and 15 minutes. I went and saw Scott Williams. Now he was amazing, and that's normally, like, I think of him more as a PE person, but he wasn't just talking about the importance of getting us up. He gave us practical solutions. So this whole week, Justin, you'd be so proud. Even my ADHD kids are loving life. We're doing the foot kicks and the cross, bodies. And so I will not go to any session that wants to talk to me about a concept like sleep disorders. Don't talk to me about sleep disorders. Talk to me about how I can get my kids to sleep more, how I can self-manage. But yeah, so when I go down, I'm very critical when I'm reviewing sessions and saying, no, internet. I want hands-on. I want something.
Yeah, and I mean, for me now, with being what I would call a professional development junkie, I'm there to kind of hang out with people. Like, yes, I want to learn. I'm going to go. But I want to strengthen the relationships that we already started. So if there's something that really, when I look at it, really strikes out on me, like sports science, K to 20, like that at the Eastern District, that like jumped out at me. Like, yes, absolutely. I don't know anything about sports science. I don't know anyone who's doing sports science out there that is doing. Yeah, but I don't see any of the stuff you're doing, Andy. Is that
I'm
just trying to?
No, my bachelor's is sports science. So my bachelor's was sports science.
So when's the last time you wrote a post or you talked about a lesson where you broke down sports science for us?
My next post, I'm gonna start it and put this one's dedicated to Justin.
Well, I'm just saying. So like, it was fantastic. The session was fantastic. But when I see something that's not out there, those are the ones I'm going to go to. Absolutely, where I go, I can find a billion large game warm-ups or large game activities or all the different things we see all the time. Use the Omnikin ball or use whatever. So a lot of times I will go to strengthen those relationships. Here's the next question before we go on to our individual stuff. What can conferences do better? Let's flip this around. What should the conferences be doing afterwards with the follow-up? Because, all right, let me give you the example. Eastern District, very excited. We went there. I think that the quality of individuals at the Eastern District was fantastic. I learned a ton, met these people that really were challenging my thinking. That's wonderful. Now I leave. Is it the conference's responsibility to follow up, to provide something, to keep us connected? I mean, what are your thoughts?
I actually think it should be part of the presenters. So if you're presenting a session, and for example, if this person's getting paid, etc., maybe just there's a little bit extra for some sort of follow-up. And maybe asking those questions, or get onto Voxer. You have your own little Voxer group that came from the session, and talk about, okay, you're a month down the line, how have you implemented it? Or send a quick email. Hey Justin, how's it going? Let's see what you've been doing. How have you implemented what you learned at the conference? Blah blah blah.
Andy, what are your thoughts?
No, you're right. I like keeping the conversation going. Melanie and I are both involved in a Voxer chat. We met up with Dr. Sarah Bennis. I know I'm crucifying her name, and Holly Alperin, and their textbook that I have right here. Just happen to have it lying around. This book's great. So we're keeping the conversation going with the authors themselves as well. And we're trying to, work our way through the book and then work out how we can start to implement some of their thoughts. So, yeah, as Adam said, just the use of social media is a great way to keep the conversation going.
Yeah, I did think that it's a really good idea to say, presenters, here you go. You're going to have 5, 10, 20, 50, 100 people in your session. Get their email addresses and do 3 follow-up emails, whatever it is, throughout the year, and then do that and have that kind of like as an unofficial thing, because you are right, Adam. It really could and should be up to the presenters, because if it's up to the conference, I don't know how much they really know what you went to and where to help you. But the presenters, obviously, if you went to their session, hopefully there was a reason, and that's what was going on. So I think that now with implementation of social media, I mean, think about this. We did the Blab that night at the conference. We did the Blab 2 days later at the end of the conference, and now we're here still connected. I mean, Melanie Lynch is still out there, and we're still connected with her. Dr. D, do we have volume on you?
I believe so.
So what are your thoughts over here? This is Dr. Dorian Roberts. In case you didn't know, she is one of the founders, the co-founders of DCTV 430. So come talk to us, Doc. What's going on?
Good evening, gentlemen. One of the things that I think, just to put a little bit of a different spin on conferences when it comes to following up, wouldn't it be interesting if you followed up with some of the participants to get, like on the next conference, getting their feedback on how they utilize what they learned from that conference? Maybe even having them do like a little mini ed camp, so to speak. And I'll give you an example. Ron Madison, who is here in Michigan, we all went to an ed camp together. They learned a lot at the ed camp through Ron, but Ron was just a participant. He didn't lead the session, but he was a participant. And I thought it would be kind of cool. They got a lot from Ron, but I haven't heard any follow-up with them trying to get maybe Ron to come out and present. And he's like a wealth of knowledge. So I would be interested in knowing how the everyday average person, not so much how the speaker or the paid speaker is, but how people adapted leaving it for their own classrooms. So that's just my thought.
I think that'd be an awesome session. Like on there, they would have an open block, and you would just have 20 people. I went to EDA. I went to Shape America. I went here. I went there. And then, this is what I learned. This is how I implemented it right around. I think that's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, I think a great idea. What you were saying just previously, Justin, before Doctor came in, that you're talking about social media. I think what we have to remember is the majority of educators that are coming to conferences, they're not all on social media, and as much as we would like them to be, they're not on social media. So to collect maybe emails, so you say, okay, today's presentation resources, if you sign up here, here's where you'll get your presentation resources, and they sign up to a Google form, they give their email address. That email address is probably going to be more important than saying connect with me on Twitter, because not everyone is still in the Twitter roles, etc.
Yeah.
So I think connecting with them to start with on an email, because I think that's so important, and then start looking at, okay, maybe we can stretch the conversation to Twitter. We can suggest the conversation to Voxer. But I think getting that email address is probably more important than maybe pushing the social media aspects on. Not necessarily everybody that is on social media.
Yeah, and
but everyone has an email address.
You're right, and I think it's very important that when you do present, you let people know that you're there, you're willing to fill their conversation. Because you've only got 60 minutes, 45 minutes, or whatever, and people do have a ton of thoughts. So, and I can see that Melanie on the side notes has said that she gets emails with people sending adaptations of lessons. Me too, and I love it when people share photographs of their students implementing some of the things that we've talked about in our sessions. So you have to let people know I can be contacted on Twitter, and here's my email address, and here's my blog, and So I've got a 2-year-old being a pain here. And I will always get back to anybody that contacts me because I love that.
Yeah, I think anytime I get that. Hey, I saw you do this. This is how it helped my students. Oh yeah, look at the little melon right there. Thank God you look like your mom. All righty. Anyway, any final thoughts, Dr. D, before we kick you out? All right. Thank you for hopping in. As always, Dr. Dorian Roberts from DC TV 430 over there. Oh, she's a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
She's got to be good, but not the doctor that helps people. If you didn't, never mind. Too long. All right, sir. So, any more final thoughts on PD for the summer before we start going into
last one? If you are in the northwest of England and you are watching, we are running a teach meet. So definitely come along down, and you can get the information is on my Twitter page. So I'm hoping we can really push the profession forward because it's free PD and there's free food. So what more do PE teachers want? So, it's just like your ed camp sort of pub PD, sort of coffee PD sessions that you have. We'll meet for 2 hours, and there's going to be some really great presentations. So I think it's going to be a real good evening of sharing good practice between a lot of educators.
Yeah, while he's sharing his stuff as well then, so Andy Horn and I will be down in St. Louis. We're going to go and do the St. Louis Health PE Conference. Really looking forward to meeting Amanda Stanek for the first time. Paul Zintarski will be down there. Dr. Dale Brown will be down there. And Ryan Armstrong as well. If you haven't had a chance to meet Ryan Armstrong, he is 100 miles an hour kid with a ton of energy, and he's the future of PE. So we're looking forward to seeing Ryan again.
Oh, he could ball. We were in North Carolina. Okay. That dude was hitting I guarded him, hit like 3 threes in my face with like a rickety rim on an angle. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, but you play old man basketball and he's a young lad. So there's probably the difference.
Yo, that is the difference. He's a young lad. He's got all this energy. Oh, yeah, like I said, dude was legit. All righty. So to finish up, we have a couple things going. If Andy has his micro change and Adam has his tech tip, I will start off with a little article that I read, and let me put this bad boy in there. And this article, now hopefully with the open seat, I'm going to see if this worked. Hang up. Yeah, I don't care about that. Here we go. So this is the article. I dropped the link in. Let's hope that it loads. It has nothing to do with education, but this woman's laugh was so fantastic that I couldn't stop. I just couldn't. I could not stop. I don't even know if we could. I don't think we could even hear her laugh on here. If you get a chance, click on this. You could have the worst day in your life. It could be like your whole family has just disappeared. Zombies just ate everybody in your family, and you hear this lady laugh, and it is fantastic. She bought this chupacabra or whatever mask. Was it Chewbacca? This Chewbacca mask at Kohl's, and she put it on, and she is having the time of her life in that video. So if you get a chance, click on that, send it to somebody. It could be one of the funniest things that I've ever heard. So again, very little to do with education, but if you're ever sad, upset, play that lady.
Did you see James Corden? Yeah, did you see James Corden?
Yes. Yes. Very good.
Did you not see it, Justin? If you search for, do you watch James Corden?
No, I'm not familiar. Who is it?
What?
Just another Brit taking over America.
Just like Austin Powers.
I will be happy.
I will go check that out. Who wants to go next?
Yeah, I can.
I'll go and then I will. Yeah, I'll go first. Yeah, sharing I share these micro actions. The one I'm going to do this time around is I want to actually sit down and do some meditation in the morning. I'm so busy at school, and I know there's no excuse for that. There's no excuse to say you're too busy because you've got 24 hours, right? So you can find time. But I know that so many successful people will include meditation as part of their daily lifestyle. So I do plan on keeping my alarm clock set nice and early, get up before the rest of the family, and spend some time, teaching myself a bit more about meditation. I'll be using the Headspace app. That I have tried to use it in the past, and I'm determined to stick with it.
The Muse, if you ever saw it, the Muse is the first thing that gives you feedback to your meditation, and they have a whole program that hooks up to an app. But it's a thing you put on your head right here, measures brain activity, and then syncs it up. And when you meditate, it'll tell you how well you're doing. So it's the first, as far as I know, feedback that of when you're meditating. It was awesome. I have it upstairs. I haven't used it in a while. Again, if you get a chance, check out the Muse.
So this is an app that I downloaded, and I'll be honest, I downloaded it, didn't use it. And then just in the past 2-3 weeks, I've really started to have a play with it, and I'm not going to lie, it's changing the way I work. So this is one that I mentioned to Justin, and I got, obviously, talking of Jared, I got this from listening to his automation podcast, and it's called Workflow. And if you think of certain tasks that you're doing on your phone or your iPad that are constantly the same. So, for example, I want a URL link and I want to shorten it. So with this, even from a locked screen, I can scroll down on the iPhone and I can look, okay, shorten URL. I press the shorten URL button and it will shorten it there and then for me. It'll make a GIF and send it straight to my email. So the amount of times that I've gone through one app to another app to then email it to myself, this will do it all in the same app. So I'll press video to GIF. I video the 10, 20 seconds that I want. It'll then just automatically email it to myself. A music timer for minutes or seconds. It'll ask me how long I want the music played for. Okay, I just want 2 minutes while we warm up, and then it'll just cut the music on my phone. So, like if you think about how many times you just do those 3 tasks over the course of a week or a month, and how much time that's going to save you, that's getting that time back, as I know Jared's always working towards. So it's been a massive change for me, and that's just a couple of the ones that I'm using at the moment. There are so many different combinations, and basically it's like having If This Then That or Zapier in your phone.
Yeah, it's cool. I used it to a lot of times to tell people what I'm listening to on podcasts now, because they have a real quick one. You hit the upload, it says on Twitter or whatever it is, and then it'll tell you like who's the people on iTunes that are on the podcast, and then go from there. So I do like Workflow. I haven't quite figured out how to make a lot of my own yet, which I probably should look at more because it does look like a time saver. Yeah. All right. Any final thoughts over there, Adam? Because Andy looks like he's frozen in time right
now. Well, I've got my sports presentation this evening, so I need to go and get my things ready for a full day at school, and then sports presentation this evening, which I will be emceeing. So have an amazing week, everybody, and I'm sure we will chat throughout the week, Justin.
Nice. And yes, I am doing a webinar on Saturday at 12 Eastern time for Classroom Live 2.0, Class Live 2.0. So I'll put the link out there throughout my social media accounts. Really cool. Checking out a little bit of the Danielson model and how technology can impact that, breaking down each of the standards in there, each of the domains, and how technology affects all of them. So look forward to that And last but certainly not least, thank each and every one of you for listening to this either on the podcast or live or watch on the YouTube channel, whatever it is. We appreciate your time. There's nothing more important in life than time and health, because you're not getting either one of those back. So thank you for spending any amount of time with us. We'll see you here same time next week. Thank you very much. Have a good evening, y'all.